you're immediately going to think, oh, they did that because I'm black. There is a sort of romanticizing that happens with black suffering and victimization. And that happens a lot among black people, where we tie our identity to victimhood. And so if you can't separate the two. And so what happens is there is an incentive. We talk about incentives to push a certain narrative because it gets ratings or whatever. But there's also an incentive to be seen as a victim, to have that sort of victimhood narrative pushed in order to maintain that identity of authentic blackness. And so that is a big issue. And that's something that we need to deal with as a society and as a culture. Just all around.
I love all of your points, but the victimhood where you got to at the end is probably my favorite because, and you said it, I think I'm gonna just try to restate it a bit, but the highest level of blackness is being in a casket. There's no other.
George Floyd.
And particularly, let me clarify that. The highest level of blackness is being in a casket because of something a white person did.
I've noticed lately, especially, that people who are alive today are more offended by things that happened in the past than the people who lived back then were, that went through the things. So like people who went through the civil rights movement, obviously there were things that happened back then that were awful, right? Like the NASCAR thing, maybe that was just an honest mistake, who knows? But there are deliberate, obvious things that happened during the civil rights movement that were awful and deliberately racist. And those people went through that, but the people that are alive today, they're more offended now. It hurts them more. They feel more traumatized than the people that actually experienced it. And this is the kind of thing that happens when you see the world through the lens of nothing but race, okay? It's the whole idea of when all you have is a hammer, then everything looks like a nail. Right? There's something in psychology called the hostile attribution bias. And what that means is whenever somebody does something or says something, you automatically attribute hostile intentions to that behavior. So somebody gives you the side eye or somebody locks their door when you walk by, you're immediately going to think, oh, they did that because I'm black. Oh, she clutched her purse when I got in the elevators because I'm black. Oh, he coughed, whatever. Whatever it might be. This is how a lot of these people view the world.